After yet another night of broken sleep, I'm done. I'm so fed up with it that something needs to be done. I am so aware that not having enough sleep can cause dementia and also a higher probability of strokes. So I need to get to the bottom of why I'm not sleeping properly. I know that sleep problems are very, very common, especially in us over 60s. 40 to 70% of us struggle with sleep. So I know that I'm not alone. And I know that there must be loads of you out there that also suffer from bad sleep patterns, bad sleep problems, struggling to get off to sleep, struggling to stay asleep, struggling not to wake up at silly times early in the morning. So come along with me and let me show you the results of the research that I've done and what has finally worked for me. From teenager to young woman in early 20s, I didn't ever have any sleep problems, and I wasn't an early bird. I used to lay in, especially at weekends after no school, so I used to lie until midday most of the time. But I wasn't really allowed to stay up late into the night when I was a child, and when I left home, yes, I guess I did. I had a bit more of a nightlife and social life, so I didn't really have set patterns. However, this all changed when I became pregnant. I was a tummy sleeper and I used to sleep most of the time on my tummy. However, obviously, for obvious reasons, you can't do that when you're pregnant. So that was the start of, I suppose, my sleep problems. And then, of course, when you've got small babies, they don't have proper sleep patterns and you're up and down all night long. And I don't think from that point onwards, I have had a full night's sleep. Now, it never used to be a problem. But when menopause hit, it became slightly worse because obviously with the hormones going up and down and it's just a complete nightmare. And with all the issues that I had with the brain fog, lack of confidence, etc., lack of sleep obviously played a big part in that. Now I can say that my biggest sleep problem is having to get up to go to the loo several times in the night. I was waking up with headaches, which I think came from neck problems, from neck aches. And I was waking up with headaches. Sometimes I was waking up in the middle of the night or the very early mornings with headaches and having to take paracetamol at that point to try and get back off to sleep again. So I knew something wasn't right, or several things weren't right. So I set about trying to find out what the problems were and to then try and resolve them. I also have been finding that I use Audible to read in bed at night because my eyes are tired from working on a laptop most of the morning, and obviously doing YouTube is most of the day. So I use Audible. I don't actually read the books, but having said that, my choice of books has been rather, let's just say, violent lately. I've been reading a lot of medieval type-ish books where there's been warfare and strange animals and people defending their territories, and even one where it was good against evil. And just recently I've been reading another novel about Boudica, or about Boudica's daughters actually. So obviously there is warfare involved in that, but I am finding that these warfare type books are giving me not nighttime terrors, but they're giving me, I guess, anxiety at night, and it's affecting my sleep. So I've recognised that one is a very simple solution. It's just don't read or don't listen to them at night, or choose books that are less aggressive. So I've tried sleep aids in the past. I've tried melatonin, which I had to buy from America, I think it was. I don't think we sell it in the UK. I've tried hypnotherapy. I've tried the cold room, the warm room, the hot water bottle. And so now, having tried all of these different things, I now know what works for me and what doesn't. So keep watching and I will let you know what I have found works for me, and that could be something that you can then try. So why does sleep get harder once you get over 60? Well, it's obviously to do with the body's aging, and the body clock is slowing down. Something called our circadian rhythm starts getting out of sync with what it's normally been. So we are now getting more light sleep and less deep sleep. Nighttime is when the brain does a bit of a service on the body. And not getting enough deep sleep means that not much of this servicing is being done. So it's no wonder that we wake up groggy and bad-tempered and irritable, because our body just hasn't had time to do its maintenance overnight. And part of the problem of that is that our body is not making enough melatonin. Melatonin is what makes our body sleep, and if you have less melatonin, then you're either going to find it harder to go to sleep or to stay asleep, and you get more fragmented nights. A lot of people in their 60s are on medications for one thing or another, and obviously as you get older, the older that you get, the more likely are that you're going to need to be on medications. And some of these medications do have a detrimental effect on sleep. As we get older, our body is not able to hold urine in the bladder as long as it used to be. I mean, I used to wake up, sleep all night and wake up in the morning desperate to go to the toilet. But these days my body is waking me up as soon as my bladder hits sort of like half full. It says, come on, get up, go. And I have no choice. I'm awake, so I might as well go to the toilet. And I know people are saying, oh, that's just telling your body that it's okay to do that. But for me, I'm awake anyway. And if I didn't get up and go to the toilet, then I will be worrying about the fact that my body would wake me up in an hour's time to tell me to go to the toilet again. So I may just as well go, if that makes any sense. So, of course, all this lack of sleep, it does make a difference to our daily life. I think sleep completely controls the way you attack the day. If you wake up and you feel refreshed, you're more likely to get up and go and do things straight away and be kind of like smooth sailing throughout the whole day. But if you don't get enough sleep, then you are just all the time, you're trying to push through it and just trying to get on with what you need to do if you're still working. But for me anyway, it has a major effect on my day if I haven't had enough sleep. Also affects your cognitive function, and because I'm still working and I run my own business, I have to be on my game all the time. I can't, for example, I can't get up in the morning if I've had a really bad day and try and do a complicated reconciliation. I would have to leave that for another day. If I've had a bad night's sleep, I do have the option of picking something easy to do. That's just the way that my working life is. But if you're going out to an office to work, you may or may not have that opportunity. Cognitive fog. So I'm going to read from my notes because I just cognitive fog today. Memory slips, poor focus, and links to dementia if it's chronic. So if you continually have bad night's sleep and you've just always got fog in your brain, then your risks of getting dementia increase significantly, and also strokes too. It can also limit lifestyle. I know a lot of people do nap. I don't. I have never been a day napper unless I'm sick and I sleep. That's the only time, and I have to be really sick to do that. I've never been a daytime napper, and I don't want to be, if I'm honest with you. I want to try and stick with my schedule, so waking up and going to sleep at the same times, so I don't nap. I do go and have a lie down on the bed occasionally and just lie there, not watching TV or looking at my phone or anything, just there with my eyes shut, and I find that does help, just kind of like a little tiny reset in the brain. But it's not a nap. I don't think I fall asleep, but you never know. If your brain is not connecting to your body properly, then it's not. There's a possibility that you could be open to falling, especially if you're in your 70s, 80s and onwards. So I did a deep dive into the internet, not just the blasé blogs that you come across or newspaper articles that are just so vanilla that they just don't do anything for you. It's just a load of words on a page. So looking at the medical journals and some of the tests and trials that they've done, keeping to a schedule, like I've just said, I've always done. So yay to me. Bedtime and wake times need to be consistent. And if you do wake up at odd hours of the day or can't sleep at night, then going and sitting and having a cup of coffee in daylight, so if you've got like a south-facing window or a window where sun comes through partially, then go and sit and have a cup of coffee there, and apparently that does reset your body, or it helps to reset your body clock. The second tip is to stay active and either watch your nap times or don't nap at all. Daily exercise helps, walking, yoga, swimming. I mean, that's kind of like a little bit like the vanilla kind of advice that they give, but it really does help, I think, if you go at least for a 20-minute walk and get your blood circulating, so that, you know, it's signaling to your body that you've had exercise and therefore you're going to sleep better at night. It's saying if napping, make sure they're less than 30-minute naps and have them before 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so that your body is going to be ready for sleep at night time. Optimize the bedroom and routine. So this is the one that does make me smile because it can't fit into my lifestyle. Have a dark, cool, quiet room. Well, I always keep my bedroom cooler than the rest of the flat anyway, because I've always slept better in a cooler bedroom. I don't know why it works, but it just does. This is the one that makes me laugh or smile. Bed is only for sleep or intimacy. But yes, I live on my own, so there's not going to be much intimacy going on. And yes, I do have a TV in my bedroom, but I very rarely watch it at night time, if I'm honest. I'd far rather watch it in here in the living room and then obviously go into the bedroom for sleeping. But it's there. You're supposed to have an evening wind down. So a bath, read a book, listen to calm music. So yes, I understand the bath thing. I used to be a real big lover of having a bath after work, and it used to calm me down and relax me after a stressful day at the office. So yes, I get that. I find now I'm not actually having that many baths. Well, I think it's really only in the winter that I have a hot bath. So we'll see how it goes. Books, well, yes, I've already said I use Audible. And calm music. It's not really ever been part of my routine to listen to music at night, although I'm not closed off to that possibility. And the fourth tip is to tackle health and medication. So if you've got pains, aches, obviously joints, arthritis, you know, all that sort of thing, then you need to speak to your doctor about pain medications and whether you can take something during the night if you wake up, or something before you go to sleep to keep you asleep, or whether you can change your medications if they are keeping you awake. But what actually worked for me? So I've been doing a lot of reading on gut health and the gut biome, and it's come to my attention that the gut has a huge effect on sleep, which I didn't know about until just recently. I'll read again from my notes because I'm not going to be able to remember this. Gut bacteria control sleep patterns. 90% of the body's serotonin, that's the happy hormone, gets changed to melatonin, and that's what makes us sleep. We have trillions of bacteria in our gut, and they weigh roughly 4 pounds. Who knew? Scientists have discovered that people with disrupted gut bacteria have 50% more sleep disturbances than those with a healthy gut balance. So bacteria produce something called short-chain fatty acids when they digest fibre. These fatty acids don't just help with digestion, they actually cross into our bloodstream and travel to your brain, where they influence the production of GABA, G-A-B-A, your brain's main calming neurotransmitter. And without enough GABA, your mind races at night, replaying conversations from decades ago or worrying about tomorrow's doctor's appointments. So that kind of answers quite a bit for me, because I have come off the sugar wagon. Beginning of the year, I went sugar-free, or at least I reduced much of my sugar content. And I slept so much better, and I felt so much better in myself. But that all went a bit squiffy during a bad time in my life in this year. And I started eating lots of chocolate again, and sugar things, biscuits and ice cream and what have you. And that, I think, is what's caused my gut to plunge back into so that's caused a deficiency in the way that it's been working. I'm not sure about the short chain fatty acids, but I think that possibly that could be something that's going wrong, because I'm feeling far more anxious at the moment, especially at night. So if I'm not getting this calming neurotransmitter thing working properly, that could be the reason why I'm waking up having, bad dreams, or waking up with anxiety. So I need to address this, obviously. So what have I done that has worked for me? So I have muesli for breakfast and fruit for snacks. So I've upped my fibre intake so that the brain gets its GABA. And that appears to be working. I've also stopped listening to the rather aggressive book stories, novels, what do you call it when it's audible? I've stopped reading that type, and I seem to be a lot calmer now. I've been cutting out alcohol for much of the past year, I think, and now I very rarely drink. So that is not affecting my sleep pattern at all, which is good. It also means that my hydration in my body has reverted back to what I would call normal. I just have to remember and remind myself to drink a glass of water every hour, just to ensure that I am hydrated enough. I only drink 1 cup of coffee a day, so I'm not drinking caffeine late at night, because I know that it does affect me. It doesn't affect some people, but it does affect me, so I don't do that. So that's also another tick on my list. And I am now cutting down on the sugar with the intent to go sugar-free where possible. I'm not talking about carbohydrates, I'm just talking about things with sugar in, like the chocolate, like the ice cream, etc. I don't drink sugary drinks or carbonated drinks at all. So that's another tick on my list of things that I was advised to do by Google. I am having a bio yogurt an hour before I go to bed, and that really does seem to help me a great deal. And I'm not sure whether it's because yogurt not only coats the stomach, and it helps with the pH of your stomach, but also with the bacteria in there, it's going to help with the gut biome too. So for me, it's a win-win situation. And honestly, for me, it does seem to help. I've gone back to listening to the hypnotherapy app that I had installed on my phone, and that's helping me to de-stress and for my brain to get used to not having the blue light from the laptop or from my mobile phone. And listening to a 30-minute or a 50-minute session really helps. I do the breathing exercises during these sessions, and it's calming for me. And I'm finding that because I'm going to sleep calm, I'm waking up calm, and I'm not waking up in the middle of the night with it's not really a night terror, but it's that's kind of wake up and you think, oh my God, why am I feeling so anxious? My neck pain, my neck ache has gone, which means that I must have had tension in my neck area. I did go as far at one point to buy a neck massager, but I've not had to use that recently, so that's been good news. But I was getting neck ache and waking up with headaches and having a shooting pain in this ear. It's not an ear infection or anything is going on within my ear or my ear canal or any of the whole congestion circle. or circuit. So I then thought, well, it must be my pillow. I've always slept with a fairly narrow pillow. I've not been one of those people that likes the big, thick, chunky things. So I thought, well, I'm just going to try. They're not very expensive, so I tried one of these. Are they called ergonomic pillows? The weird shaped ones. And I bought it off Amazon. I don't think it cost me very much money. And it was amazing. I mean, it's probably the most comfortable pillow I've ever had in my life, and it stopped the neck aches, full stop. It's been brilliant. And finally, if I ever have more than 3 nights of not good sleep, I will take one of those over-the-counter pharmacy sleep products, and they're generally an antihistamine. And that gives me a good night's sleep, which kind of then resets my sleep pattern, so I get back into my body sleeping properly. I mean, this doesn't happen very often now, not as much as it was doing in the previous months. So I think all in all, I feel much, much happier that I found solutions to my sleep issues. And going forward, I have some tricks in my armoury if my body starts playing up again. Hopefully it won't do, but you know, we will see. So let me know whether you suffer from sleep problems, whether you think that you're not sleeping properly, what you think the problem is and what you found helps. Let me know also if you've spoken to your doctor about it, if it's been that bad that you've had to go and speak to the doctor. Let me know what they say, and whether it coincides with any of the solutions that I found worked for me. I'd love to know if you've got any other solutions that have worked for you, because I am open to trying anything when I can't sleep properly. Believe you me, sleep and me, yes, it's been a problem in the past. I'm hoping now that I'm going to get it back under control. But I am also aware that the older I get, the worse my sleep is going to be, and that's just a fact of life. But I think I need to deal with it as it happens. So for now, in my 60s, early 60s, I think I've hopefully resolved a lot of the issues that I've got now. And if I face anything in my 70s or my 80s, if I get that far, then I will let you know. So thank you very much for watching so far. Please comment and show me the support. I would absolutely love that. And I do answer all of the comments that I get. If you watched this far, you are amazing, and thank you very much. And so I'll sign off now, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.